country, boys.
All right, welcome back to the Blue Ridge Now, Barkdoll's Bird's Eye View. I'm back here in Hendersonville, back from the wine country, Sonoma, Napa Valley, San Francisco. One of my favorite places to go every year, and didn't let me down this year again, so I'll continue to want to go there. This angle that we have right here is an angle that we have, that the spotters have. Although we're up a little higher on a hill, this is the angle that we see the track. It has 11 turns, and Dean, I think we have a question, don't we?
Yeah, we had a viewer that wants to know how you see the whole track.
Well, you know, the road courses are different, but Sonoma is better than Watkins Glen. So at Sonoma, we use two spotters, one on the hill, which is way above, and we can see actually all the corners except turn 10, and we can see the beginning of it where a billboard kind of hides. So we use two spotters at Sonoma. We use up to 4 spotters at Watkins Glen because actually you can only see a couple turns each guy, so you kind of got to help your driver. But these guys are really good at what they do, and so they kind of know where the cars are. Really what we're looking for is cars that get spun out, debris, and that type of stuff on the track. But each track is just a little bit different, and you know, with the stage and the points that we can get, we saved a little bit here of the car that I spot for. We were racing for stage points. They're very important when it comes to the race, and each stage you can get points that you can't get by the end of the race. So we try really hard. So if you go back, Dean, I'll switch over here. Let me click. Now the 34 car there you see in the view is Michael McDowell, and that's the driver of the Love's Travel Stop that I spot for. And we've actually, since we've been gone a few weeks, we've been finishing somewhere around 20th, and that's about where we finished this time. We finished 21st. But during the stages, which there's 110 laps, there's stages 25 and 50, you can get some extra points. So we're racing for a top 10 here. That's how you get points, 10th through 1st. And right now we're in 10th, or 9th, excuse me, and we'll let them kind of call it here, and you'll hear what goes on.
For him and for Boyer at the end of that last stage. So I think that's a good strategy.
Little points racing going on here, boys. 8th, 9th, and 10th. By Casey Kane, who overcame a speeding penalty on his first pit stop, as did Greg Gaulding. Kane in 11th, 1 spot away from the points.
And McDowell pitted on that last caution. He's got a little bit fresher tires, and you know, for 34 McDowell, 37 Busher, stage points are huge for these teams.
Yeah, Mike, because we've only had 6 winners. Some people are going to point their way into the playoffs.
Sorry, also Busher also pitted on that last caution, both of these cars.
Looking like a strong day for front row. There, Michael McDowell in 8th spot.
Okay, so that's what you heard Daryl and Jeff and Mike Joy talking about. The stage points for us, teams that are in the middle, you know, a lot tougher to get. And these road courses and the super speedways, it makes it a lot easier, or I shouldn't say easier. Those are the places we can capitalize and get points for these races. So Daytona coming up in a couple weeks, that's another place. When the stages get close to the end, we try to race our way into the top 10 to get those extra points, trying to get into the playoffs at the end of the season. Speaking of Daryl and Jeff and Mike, that was their last race. Fox is done for the year, and upcoming is NBC takes over. And I think everybody's pretty excited. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to be in the booth for the first time, and I'm one of those fans of Dale Jr. and hope he brings something to the TV that makes it so you people watch more when you can't make it to the races. So that was Sonoma. Drank a little wine, had some oysters, had a good time. It didn't have as good as finish as we wanted. We were 7th in one practice, 10th in the other practice, and then finished 21st in the race. But had to stay out on old tires because it just the way you stage the races, the way you plan your pit stops, it didn't work out for us like we wanted it to. Getting ready to go to Chicagoland this weekend. Another 1.5 mile track. One thing that's very unique about Chicagoland is it doesn't have a back straightaway. All the other 1.5 miles have a straightaway. Chicagoland, although it's fairly straight, is still partially a curve back there. And I got some video from Jason Jarrett, that he shot one time during the start of an Xfinity race from some glasses that he wears that shows you exactly what we see. And I thought this was good video to show for the Chicagoland race. So if you watch, I'll switch over once again. And you'll notice that that's Chris Lambert there. He spots for Denny Hamlin. He has binoculars, and you'll see why in a second here. That's the cars over here coming to the green. You'll hear a little bit of the talking, the spotters talking in the background, but it's more or less to give you the idea of what we see during the mile-and-a-half races. Keep it on the video, Dean, but you'll notice right here, this is a good explanation of what we see. So when they go away from us into turn one, and this is your car, or that's your car, you either need your binoculars or you need to know what bright car you're next to. So when Danica ran the green car, or Menards runs the yellow car, or we run the Love's Travel Stop car, it's easier to find your car when they go away. As you can tell, it's not a great vision. And so these restarts, these guys back here got a little bit easier, but if you're in the top 25 or so, it makes it a lot tougher. But we'll do a complete lap here, kind of give you an idea of what we do. Again, same type of thing. The night races for me are a little bit tougher. It might have something to do with my age. I won't admit that, but it might. You can see they're a long ways away. Chris, no doubt in my mind, is using his binoculars at this point. Chris Lambert and Jason, they do cars that run in the top 5 or 10 all the time. So they're definitely paying attention to where they are. Most of these races start out at a bottom groove track, and then you'll see cars move up as the race goes on. But at the start of races, because they're so compacted together, they have to kind of run different lanes. Okay, that's all of our video for today, but a video of the track. Actually, I'll do a little bit more talking here. So you understand too, as a spotter, we're sitting up there with 4 radios, and one of the radios is really you communicating with the driver and the crew chief and the pit crew, and everybody hears that. We also have another radio that the crew chief and the engineers, I think I've spoken of this before, where the crew chief might be telling me later on in a run, hey, we're pitting in 3 laps, don't tell him yet, or do tell him this. Another radio is what NASCAR's telling us, hey, there's a caution, tell so-and-so to speed up. They kind of keep us informed of what's going on. And then we have a 4th radio, we can do what we want. And a lot of guys listen to themselves. I do every now and then at the beginning of a race, but most of the time I'll listen to the radio, MRN radio, not country or rock or anything, MRN radio, because they have other spotters that are talking about different parts of the track. So if you go back one more time here for a second, Dean, if my car's setting right here, and I'm spotting for that guy, I'm really focused on that area right there. So this guy over here might be spinning out, and I don't know about it. And NASCAR might not see it as quick as the radio, or they might, but it gives me another set of things to listen to. So, you know, at the end of the day, you talk about voices in your head. There's one of our spotters has that as a Twitter deal. You're talking, you're listening, you're hearing. You could have one guy talking to you, NASCAR telling you something, and you talking to your driver all at the same time. And I think that's why, you know, we've all been able to do this for a while. Is I think in TV and producers and network shows, they do the same type of thing. We kind of have that same thing going on. So I've really enjoyed it for all these years. Looking forward to Chicagoland. Really looking forward to Daytona. We're not quite halfway through the season. I think we ran 16 races, and we have 20 to go. But make sure, if you have any questions about anything, send them in to Dean Hensley at Blue Ridge Now. Appreciate them allowing me to do this, and look forward to talking to you guys next time. Have a great week.